Adam.
Jamie, where are you?
Adam. Adam.
Where are we?
We're in the YouTube void.
The YouTube void? Well, that doesn't sound ominous at all. What's a YouTube void?
This is where all the comments, likes, and dislikes go.
Is that why it's so empty?
This is it. This is the reason why. Anyway, so I've been looking through the comments and likes that we've had from our videos, and most of them have been really positive. However, we had one dislike.
Like Elsa says, let it go.
I can't let it go, and I've been sleeping on it now for days, and I've decided the only possible reason, because it's not me, and it's unlikely to be you.
Yeah, definitely not me.
Yeah. Is that it must be that in our unboxing video, because no one likes unboxing videos.
Some people like unboxing videos.
Nobody likes unboxing videos is because we didn't actually play the game. So, my thing for this video is that we play the game.
Great, so we're going to do a Western Legends review today?
Yes, we are.
Excellent. The first problem is we need to find a way out of this void.
Yeah. Any ideas?
I'm just right over there.
Okay, well, I'll follow you. Hang on.
Well, we found our way out of the YouTube void eventually.
And amazingly, you managed to find these hats.
And there were some nice hats, which will get us right in the mood for the game of today, which is Western Legends.
Fantastic game.
So, tell us a bit about it, Jamie.
The game itself is for 2 to 6 players. It ranges from 90 to 120 minutes, but I don't think that's quite true. We played the game in about 60 minutes, so you can play. I think it depends on the audience. That was a 2-player game. It's ages 14 plus, but I think you'd agree you could probably go lower. I'd happily play with that game with my 8-year-old and teaching the rules generally. So yeah, that's about the game, right?
Yeah, it's a sandbox Western game set in the Wiki Wild West. And you can be an outlaw or you can be a marshal, and you have to have the most legendary points at the end of the game.
Yes, and the nice thing about that is you can make it a short game, a long game, or a medium game, because you can set the amount of legendary points that you need to achieve in order to make that happen. There's some fantastic things that you can do in the game. So you can play the good guy and you can help get the cattle from the cattle farm and take it all the way down to the railway station. Railway station? That's the right word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or you could, you ready? Wrangle the cattle.
He was so close. He was so close, because wrangle is when you're the good guy. Rustling is when you're the bad guy. That's what you meant to say, right?
That's what I was
going to try for a technical term, but he failed.
Not only did I fail, I failed with style.
Well, that means he failed with the hound. Yes, you can rustle cattle and be a bad guy.
Yes.
You can also rob the
bank.
Shall we give it a go?
Let's give it a go.
So, here's one I set up earlier. This is the Western Legends game all set up. Whilst Jamie's taking a siesta, I'll quickly explain to you what is going on here. Like all our videos, we're not going to explain all the rules here, because there are people out there who are far more charismatic and handsome than Jamie. You can explain these things, so I'll just go for this. So, you choose a character out of 2 characters at random. You get some starting equipment, which come from the general store over here, if you can see that. And yes, you place your character down at the starting place. You put some bandits in here. These are the grey-based guys. You put the sheriff in the sheriff's office. And we are playing the 2-player variant, which is probably my favourite favourite game mode of this, which is the Man in Black variant. And we have this little miniature here. He starts out in the train station, and how this works is at the end of every player's turn, we draw one of these Man in Black cards, and something bad will happen. We are trying to beat him to the 15 points in the legendary track here, but we're not working together, we're kind of working against each other here. There are no dice to roll when you're doing combat or various things in this game. You use poker cards, we'll have various different values on here and special abilities you can go on there. There's lots of really cool stuff in there. There are some dice in the game, but these are for prospecting, where you can get these lovely gold nuggets. And like we spoke about earlier, there is cattle you can rustle, you can wrangle, and there's also special story events that happen. So if you manage to get whatever this says here at the end of your turn, you can place one of your markers on here, and once you've filled up the amount of spaces you should have, you get to have something happen. Yeah, I think that's about it then. I think we're ready to play. Jamie's picked a character who's an outlaw, so he starts out on the wanted track, and down here below is the marshal track, where you can go there to try and catch people like Jamie. Just wake him up.
Whoa, what a miss.
Oh, how do I get back to the void again? Jamie, what are we here again?
Well, Will's fault.
Well. So, we just played a game of Western Legends. Thoughts, Jamie?
It's a fantastic game, full of real depth. You can really strategise over that game and play it in many, many different ways. I'm yet to play that game and it feels the same. There's lots of strategies, there's lots of ways you can play it, but ultimately it's a fun game.
It is. So, you know, we played the game where one of us has been an outlaw, the other one's been a marshal, and vice versa. And, you know, when we played the game with Will tonight, he didn't go any track till right near the end, and that actually proved pretty well for him. I mean, he didn't win, I beat him and Jamie, but the main point is that we all had fun.
We did have fun, and that's the one thing you can say about this game is that you do have fun, and it isn't a hardcore game. It is not. Yeah, I almost put it, and bear with me, in a sort of the Monopoly Cluedo range. It's a nice family game. It's a sort of game that you can play without like we've got games like Scythe, Arcadia Quest, Arcadia Quest, Nemesis. We've got those games, but you're not going to get those out on a Sunday afternoon when your friends come over who aren't really board gamers. But Western Legends is one. The theme is easy.
Yeah, it's quite kind of casual kind of friendly game. So people who don't tend to play board games, who aren't, you know, don't want to spend an hour reading a rule book, just want to sit down, be cowboys, enjoy a bit of, you know, socialising with your friends. And there's lots of strategy in this, in the sense there's lots of different things you can do, but there's no real analysis paralysis in there. You're not kind of sitting there going, oh, well, what am I getting my turn? Because sometimes you can play games and it can be infuriating when someone is taking forever for their turn. But in this, I don't think you really get that. Or at least I've not seen that with the 8 games of this I played.
No, I think that's true. I don't think you get it, and more importantly, I think what is true is there's no really a bad way or a good way to play this game. I think you can play it in your own way. You can go gold mining, you can go wrangle cattle, you can go do whatever you fancy doing, and you could still win the game. You could just sit in town playing poker if that's really what you wanted to do. You don't have to do combat, but you can do combat if you want. So it's actually quite nice in that way. The gotcha element is there if you want it to be there, but again, it's not enforced. And I think because of that, it provides a massive amount of depth in a game that normally you wouldn't really get if you play something like Cluedo or Monopoly.
Yeah, and on that as well with the fighting, you can actually remove some of the event cards in there which are forcing you to fight other players, so that you don't have to have that kind of player interaction in that capacity.
And that's great because there's a whole bunch of new board gamers who play things like Catan, King Domino, Queen Domino, who don't like combative games, but like games that are fun and just easy to play. And that definitely is one of those games, but you can obviously mix it up and you can add that combat effect in there.
Yeah. And one last thing I'd like to say, I think the 2-player variant where you have the Man in Black in there, where it's 2 people fighting the AI, the kind of Man in Black in this, is a really good, solid addition to the game. It's not really advised to play that with more than 2 players. We tried it, didn't really work, but there might be some variants on Board Game Geek which can help you out with that. But I think just 2 players and the Man in Black works really well.
I think so, and the 3-player variant there, it just didn't work at all. If I'm honest, I don't think it adds anything. I really don't. I think if you've got 3 or 4 players, that's enough going on in the game anyway for you to keep you going. So adding the Man in Black, and maybe if they add an additional Kickstarter, they could expand that and make that better. But at the moment, it's really great in a 2-player game. It adds an extra dynamic to it, but you don't need it.
Yeah.
So now we're in the YouTube void, and there's no comments appeared, no likes or dislikes.
Not yet.
Not yet. So hopefully in the void we can avoid being dice rolled on your head, on your face.
Well, the thing is, I don't have any. I didn't have the only dice I have are the ones from Western Legend because the dice bag is back in that room we were just in. So we'll both score this without looking. The dice here, we have the option of golden nugget, dollar sign, dollar and a reroll, or gravel. No one wants gravel. Apart from Will, that's what we feed him. So yeah. Okay, so what are you giving it?
I'm gonna roll it a gold nugget.
I got a gold nugget as well.
I did contemplate the reroll because I think for a game I want to play it again and again and again. But actually, it's a gold nugget. It's going to be a firm favourite in my board game collection for a really long time. And I think that if you own this game or you contemplate owning it, it'd be a firm favourite in your board game collection for a long time also.
Exactly. So before we figure out how to get out of here, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on obviously YouTube.
Yep. Please make sure you click like and subscribe, and feed us comments below so that we can hear about your thoughts, views and opinions. We've loved reading them so far.
Yeah, please send as many comments as possible because we can use them as some kind of ladder to get out of this void.
Indeed. And if you want those notifications, make sure you're in that bell.
We are
Die
rolling. How do we get out of here? Where did he go? Jamie?
Guys, I can't get out. Where'd you go? Guys, help! Please. Where do I go?